tonight he's going to be giving a number 6 speech. So, number 6 is vocal variety. We're looking for his use of pitch, rate, volume, and vocal quality. How he uses that to add meaning to the message. How he uses pauses. And using vocal variety smoothly and naturally. This speech title is Burnt Sienna, and I look forward to hearing it. Jim, come on.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. When it comes time to get ready for a speaking role or any speaking opportunity, whether you have months to prepare or minutes, there are some challenges that every speaker faces, and they can be varied challenges. Everybody has their own individual challenges. I have mine. Let me appeal to some of my fellow Toastmasters for a second here. What are some of your greatest challenges when it comes time to prepare for a speech? Anybody want to throw something out there for me? Carl?
Remembering your key points.
Absolutely. Sandra?
Being brave.
Awesome. Jim?
Preparing for a speech, just getting started, basically.
Absolutely. All really valid things when you're talking about preparing for a speech. For me, one of the most difficult things when I'm getting ready for a speech is to decide how much of myself I'm really willing to leave out there. How much am I willing to put on the paper and expose my vulnerability? That's a big challenge for me. And some of you may find this surprising because the majority of you only know me for a year. But if you'd met me 2 years ago, you would have met someone who was so intensely personal that he would get angry with his friends, his family members, and even his wife for letting people know things about his personal life. Whether it was at work or among other friends or in meetings or in any social situation, I would cringe if someone knew something about my deep personal self. And I didn't believe in myself. I've come to believe a lot of things in the last few years. I believe that your thoughts become things. I believe that you always hold the reins to your life in your hands. I believe that every piece of information in the universe and all the wisdom of all mankind of all time is right there for you if you're willing to open your heart and your eyes. And I believe you can channel it right through you. Quite frankly, I believe that I could channel the Buddha right now into this stage if I could clear my mind and make it pure enough. I believe a lot of weird stuff too. I believe in UFOs. I believe all that stuff I see on Ancient Aliens. I believe in unicorns and I believe in leprechauns. I believe that there's a land where there are round pieces of red cheese called cabotages that are conspiring against the world. I believe there's a bamboo out there somewhere being hunted by a magical arrow. I also believe that we have dreams that demonstrate that we live in alternate dimensions at all times. We're not just this human being we are in this lifetime right now. We have parallel lives running all over the place. And we could be anything we could possibly be. And I had a dream just the other night that I'm sure was me in another dimension. I had a dream that I was a crayon. And my name was Burnt Sienna. Yeah, it's true. You see, in this dream, I lived in this great house at the end of the block. You know the house. It's perfectly rectangular in shape. And it's aqua and gold. And I have 63 brothers and sisters. Anybody know what I'm talking about here? Yes. And there's that little hole in the back of the house where sometimes mom or dad takes you around behind when you get a little too flat on the top. And they make you all pointy on the top again. See, I wasn't a very brave little crayon though. And I didn't want to go outside ever. And even though a lot of my brothers and sisters would go out into the world and come back with these amazing tales about the things that they'd experienced, I just was too damn scared. So I devised a plan. And my plan was that I would wedge myself deep down into that outer wall of the house that was colored on the outside, and the inner wall of the house that was plain brown, where half of my brothers and sisters live with me. And I would get down there so far that I'd never have to come out. And this plan worked perfectly for a long time. And then there was that one day in that place where we lived with the giants. And there was a bunch of giants in the house. I think there was 5 or 6 of them. And there were 2 really big giants and a middle-sized giant. And then a shorter one still, and then a very little giant that walked around the house just wearing this white cloth thing around their waist all the time. So, I was laying there peacefully in my house with all my brothers and sisters, comfortably wedged in between the 2 walls, and that little giant came over and picked up our entire house and started walking around and shaking it ferociously. And I felt my grip slipping, and I was terrified. And I started slipping and slipping and slipping, and all of a sudden I was out, boom, and I rolled all the way across the floor. And then that little thing with the white thing around its waist came over, and it picked me up, and it came over to this white thing on the ground, and it went boom, and it started scrubbing me all over the place, and I was terrified, and things were going everywhere. And I didn't know what to do. And it hurt on top of everything else. So, it went on for about 10 or 15 seconds, and all of a sudden, that little thing started to pick me up. And as he picked me up, I looked back down, and what I saw was this big round circle that was the exact same color green as one of my brothers and sisters. And inside that circle, I saw all these little red dots that was exactly the same color as one of my brothers and sisters, colored in. And then I saw this brown base at the bottom that was the exact same color as me. And it was a tree. It was beautiful. I'd heard about it, but I'd never seen one. Because I never wanted to leave my little house. So as I looked down, and I realized that the reason that thing was so beautiful was because me and 2 of my other brothers and sisters left a piece of ourselves in it, and we colored the world, not just for us to see, but for everybody else to see too. See, this actually really happened. I had this dream, and I know that it happened, and I know that's part of me in a parallel universe, because my friends, if you can find a way to overcome some fears, and you can get out there and realize that you can't live your life wedged in between 2 pieces of cardboard, you need to come out there and lay some of yourself on the paper, because when you do, fellow Toastmasters and friends, it can be a thing of